Hey now, I'm Brenda Ann Sanslin and this is Cadillac Creek, and today we're going to review Under the Rose Tainted Skies by Louis, I think it's pronounced Gornall? Gornall? We'll go with it. This, whew, I finished this book 4 days ago and I still don't know how I feel about this book. It's good. It is a good book. It is technically well written. It is edited flawlessly. It's character driven. The character is created flawlessly, I suppose, because this is a book uh, about Nora, and Nora suffers from a. They mentioned OCD, and I would suspect extreme paranoia. Um, they don't lay it out, but they make it pretty clear that she suffers from some forms of paranoia. It is so debilitating that she mostly stays in her house. It is a feat to just make it to the car to see her psychologist, Dr. Reeves. I mean, that in itself, putting her foot outside of the doorway into the sunlight is a huge achievement for her, or a huge difficulty for her, depending upon where she's at and her mood. And she has been like this since, I think it kind of sounds like 13, 14 years old. Um, it's fairly quick paced, and once you really get into it, you'll finish it very quickly. It only took me 2 days, and I'm what would some would consider a slow reader. Um, but I found myself skipping a lot because it's one thing to watch a TV show or a movie or a program with somebody who has a mental setback or disability or handicap. For example, like Monk, because he has OCD, and Monk was a show on the USA Network, and he had OCD. And so it's one thing to watch that, or to watch somebody with autism and or Asperger's, somebody on the spectrum. It's one thing to watch that, but when you're reading it in a book, you are literally, and your lead character has these disorders. You are literally in the character's head the entire time. And for me personally, it became a little bit too much. So I didn't give up on the book, clearly. I finished it. I loved it. It's hyper realistic. But I did have to skip a few sentences ahead because I was like, I can't do this. I cannot be in this character's head. It's too much for me. I can only imagine what it would be like to actually live like that. It's actually a really brave book because the author mentions that some of these experiences that happen in this book are based off her own personal experiences, at least as far as the psychology aspect of it is concerned. I definitely recommend this book. I don't know how other people are going to feel about this because, like I said, it's very, you're immense into it. Um, I would think that for some people who do have some disorders, there might be the trigger warning for it. I'm not really sure how to do that. I will tell you, it's a very intense read. It's a very eye-opening read at the same time. I liked how it all kind of came, how it ended. I'm satisfied with the ending. Um, it's not a perfect book, but it's a pretty strong book in my opinion. Um, and I think it's an important book in some ways, that we continue to drive that that force that is mental health. We have more conversations about mental health. We have more studies about mental health. We have a larger understanding about mental health. We push our society to move forward and find out more about the hows and the whys and the treatments for mental health. And just as, quote, normal society, normal people, we need to take a step back in our own lives and not be afraid to go see a psychologist, or talk therapy, or group therapies, or even just your guidance counselor at your school, or your HR person at your work. It doesn't really matter. We need to be open to having these kind of conversations so that way we can all be healthy, and as, or at least as healthy as we are capable of being, and being given the right directions and steps to get there. So for that much, I would say that this book is still, to me, it's important as somebody who pushes the I fully believe in psychology and talk therapy. Some people do require psychiatry, which is medications and so on and so forth, and some other types of treatment. I like that the author mentions that one size does not fit all. I think that this is an important book to be out there on the young adult market that adults can read as well. So yeah, I would say Under the Rose Tainted Skies. I wouldn't say this is a definite read. I would say that this is a read if you are interested in learning more about mental health, understanding the aspects of somebody going through it, and just a good story. It's a good coming of age story, to be honest. I'm sorry I don't have more for it. It's just 4 days after reading it, and literally when I put it down and I finished it, it's just like, I don't know how I feel about this book. And I guess through working it out, talking to you guys, you kind of know how I feel about this book. Anyway, my name is Brenda Ann Hanslin. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button. And if you want to see more from me, be sure to hit subscribe. Thank you kindly, and you have a great day.